Hi everyone. Today I'm going to be showing you how you can build a lead qualification system with AI in Make.com. Now, this system is pretty easy to set up, but can bring lots of different value for different businesses. So getting into this build, for our lead qualification, the leads are going to have a budget of greater than £10,000, and also they have to be in the healthcare industry. So that's how we're going to be setting up our build in Make.com. Now, obviously, in a real life scenario, there can be a lot of different ways that leads are qualified for different businesses, but this is going to vary from business to business, but can be easily changed in your scenario. So going back over to the build, we're going to do a quick run through of what it looks like as an overview. So whenever someone fills out a form that's going to be on our website or wherever it may be, it's going to trigger this and it's going to start the whole workflow. So just so you can see, this is the tally form that I've built out, where a customer can fill in so they can put in their name, their email, their budget, a website link, and some notes about what they actually want to do. So once the customer fills out all that information, it's going to get passed into the next part of our workflow, which is where we're going to qualify the leads. This is where we're going to say if they're qualified or not qualified. And once the AI has made a decision on that, we're going to either send it to the qualified route here or the not qualified route. So going down the qualified route first, we can see that there's another AI node here, which is actually going to write up the email to send off to that lead to set up a discovery call. We'll go into the prompt and all the details of how we build that in a second. Then we've got the Gmail node, which is going to send off this email, and then we're going to automatically update our Airtable records with that lead's information. So this is kind of acting as our CRM in this scenario, but obviously you can replace this with whatever it is you want to, whether it be Salesforce, HubSpot, whatever the case may be. Now, the same thing on the other side, we've got the non-qualified route, and it's the same principles here. So we're going to create the email to send off to the lead, but this time they're not going to be qualified. We're then going to send that email off, and again, we're going to update the Airtable here. Okay, great. So getting into the first part of this build, we need to build out our tally form. So go over to tally.com, and then we want to create a new form here. So once you got into your workspace area, we want to hit new form. Now you can call this whatever you want, but we're going to start from scratch here. We're going to call this contact us. Now we just want to add a few different fields in here. The first one we're going to add in is their name. So this is going to allow the lead to put in their name. Then the next part we want to put in is the email. So we're going to hit add here, email. And then the next part of that is going to be the website link. So this is going to allow the AI to actually do some research and have a look at their website to see if they're in the healthcare industry and, if they're going to match our lead qualification criteria. And the final one we want to add in is some extra notes. So this is anything that the client wants to add about maybe what it is they want to do with the company, whatever the case may be. So a bit notes there. Now that is actually our tally form done. I'm not going to make this anything crazy. It's not that important, but these are going to be all the main fields that we're going to need. Once you've completed that, you can hit customize to customize the colors if you want, but I'm just going to leave all that as it is. And then we want to hit publish. Amazing. Now, once that is published, we've got a tally form link here, which people can go to submit all their details from. So if you copy that and open this in a new tab, you're going to open it to actually your lead qualification page. Okay, now we've got our tally form all sorted. We can go back into Make and start creating the scenario. So you're going to hit Create Scenario button here. And if you haven't got a Make.com account, first of all, just sign up. It's really easy to do, and it's nothing too complicated. Now, the first node we're going to want to add in is our trigger node. So this is going to be from Tally. So we're just going to type in Tally here, and we're going to watch for a new response. So to add a hook, I've already got a couple set up here, but you just hit Add, and then you'll copy over your API key, which you can get from Tally. So if you go back over to your Tally account, go into your settings, and copy over your API key from there, and you'll be able to connect to your Tally account really easily. You then want to select your form ID. So I've got two Contact Us pages here, but you just want to select the one that you've just created. And then once you've done that, you want to hit the Save button. Okay, great. Now the next part is we're going to want an open AI module, and this is going to allow us to actually qualify the lead, see if it matches our criteria. So we're going to type in open AI, and then we're going to click on the show more, and we're going to scroll down to generate a completion. Now you can select the latest model here, which is what I've done, but it's really up to you which model you want to select. Most of them are going to do the job pretty well, but we've just gone ahead and selected the latest one. And then we're going to add a message in here, and this text context is where we're actually going to put our prompt in. Now, as you can see, we've actually got some information from our tally node here as it's synced up all of the fields that we just created in our form. But as you can see, there's actually no information next to any of these nodes, and that's because we haven't run the tally form yet. So if you want to make sure that your tally form works first, just go ahead, fill that out, and then you should see some information here when you go to add this node. Now I've gone ahead and pasted in a prompt I created earlier for the scenario that we made, but we're going to go through it now and see what it's all about. So it's just, we've directed the AI to be a sales operations specialist that is qualifying leads. Basically, that's what this first part is about. We've instructed that leads are only qualified if they have a budget greater than 10,000 or they're in the healthcare industry, as I mentioned earlier. So we've given a couple of examples here, and then we've given a task description of what we wanted to do. And then we've gone ahead and filled out some extras about notes that the customer has left. So we've got the budget, we've got their website link, and we've got any additional notes here. So this is going to be all information that the AI is going to be able to use to determine if it matches our criteria. And then we've been really specific with the output formats. We've got either it's qualified or not qualified. So you can go ahead and just copy this prompt in. A lot of the time with prompting, you're just going to be going back and forth with AI to improve it as much as you can and get it to the place where you want. This is a bit of a slow and iterative process, really. Obviously, this is being adjusted for my company, Inovio, as it's got here, but go ahead and replace this with whatever company you want, whether yours or a client's, whatever the case may be. Now, to drag and drop some of these fields over, you literally just click on here and then drop them over, and it's really just as simple as that. Like I said, there's no information here at the moment as I haven't run the first node yet, but you will do once you run that node. So once you've done that, you want to click save, and that is the first OpenAI module done. Now we're also just going to want to quickly rename this module as we've got a couple of other OpenAI modules, so we don't want to be getting them mixed up when we're dragging and dropping their fields into other nodes. So I'm just going to rename this qualifying the lead. And then I'm going to hit save. Okay, perfect. That's the first OpenAI module done. Now the next part is we want to add in a flow control module. So you're just going to click on here and we're going to add in a router. Now this is going to allow us to filter whether our leads are qualified or not qualified. So we're going to click on this tool icon here and we're going to set up a filter and we're going to call this qualified. And we're going to set this as the fallback route. So if there's any problems, it's going to automatically go through down the qualified route. This is probably the best scenario to put it in because we don't want to lose any potential leads. Now on the condition part, this is going to be the result that we're going to get from our OpenAI module. So we're just going to drag and drop this over into here. And then we're going to put this text operator, I'm going to say it's equal to qualified. And then you just want to hit the save button. Now the same thing on the other side, we're going to add another filter and we're going to call this not qualified. We're going to leave this as no. And then the condition we're going to put in again, we're going to drag over the result here. And then we're going to put in not qualified in this box. Okay, perfect. Now we're going to add in our next OpenAI module for the route that is qualified. So we're going to go in again here, click OpenAI, and then we're going to click Generate a Completion. Now everything is going to be the same as the OpenAI module that we did before. So we're going to click the same model. We're going to add another prompt in here. Now I've gone ahead and pasted the prompt in again here, which is all the details for my company, but you can go ahead and fill this out for your company or the clients that you're building it for. So again, it's a pretty similar template. We've got what the role is, the context here, the objective, the email guidelines we have. We've got some important language to use and, so the tone we want to use as well. Now, if you want this prompt, go ahead and fill out the Google form in my description and make sure you hit the like and subscribe button as well to receive it. Then once you've copied all that in, you want to go ahead and hit the save button. Now our next node is going to be a Gmail node. So we're going to type in Gmail here, and then we want to send an email. So I've set up my Gmail connection already, but again, like most integrations in Make, it's really easy to set this up. Just click add. Then we want to add a recipient, and the email address that we want to add is we're going to get from the tally form over here. So we're going to drag and drop this email box into there. Our subjects, we can put something like, hey, just following up on your form submission. I've just put it as form follow-up dash, and then I've drag and dropped this name field from our tally form over into here. And then the next part is we want to add a body context in here. And this is where we're going to get the email that our AI would have written for us, depending on if it's qualified or not qualified. So this is why I say it's actually quite important to name some of these AI modules here, because as you can see, we've got a few different modules that we're going to have. So we're going to have one here, we have the qualifying the lead one, which we've named. I know it's this one that we need to drop in, but if I hadn't named it, it might be a little bit confusing. So make sure you name your modules. So to get the body from this OpenAI module, we're going to drag and drop the result into there. And that is everything done for our Gmail module. So we're going to hit save. Now we're just going to go onto the other side, the non-qualified route. Again, add an OpenAI module. generate a completion, and it's all the same things as before. I forgot to mention earlier, but again, it's really simple to set up your OpenAI connection. Just make sure you generate an API key, and then you'll be able to connect over to make.com pretty easily. Model, select the correct model. And then in this box here, we want to add prompts that we want to send off to our AI. So this is if the lead is not qualified. I've gone and pasted this in again from my other scenario, but it follows a pretty similar form to the other OpenAI module that we had. So got the core requirements, objectives, some guidelines, some important things, and again, the tone. So once you've done that, you want to hit save. And the same thing on this side, we're going to add another Gmail module. So we're going to hit Gmail here, send an email. I'm going to put the same thing in the subject line, so a form follow-up. Then we want to add our body context, and we're going to put the text in here. And on our body text here, we're just going to drag over the result from our AI module before, and then hit save. Now, the last part of our workflow is where we want to set up our Airtable connection. You go to Airtable, create an account if you haven't done already, and you want to set up a workspace here. So just click plus to create a workspace. I've already created one, so it's this one here that I've got, and then you want to go into that workspace. Then you want to create a new table. I've just called mine lead base v1 and then lead contacts here. And then you want to add in all of these fields that we've got. So we've got a name field, created on, email, website, budget, client notes, if they're qualified or not, email sent. So to add a field, you just want to go to this plus button here, and then you can find everything that you want. Obviously, you're going to have like a pre-template here. So you just want to delete all these fields and make sure that all the fields that you create are these ones here. To do that, you just click on them, and then you can, or right click on them and click delete. Then you want to add all the ones in. So we're going to hit plus here, and then, so for example, to put the name in, we're just going to put a single line text, and we're going to call it name, and then create the field. Created time, we're going to scroll down and then click created time, and it's going to automatically fill all this out like we want to. Hit save. And we're going to repeat that for all of these fields that we've got over here. We need to mention there's the qualified field here. We just want to put in a checkbox here, and we want to call this qualified, and that's going to allow us to tick if the lead is qualified. Now, once you have created that form in Airtable, we want to go back over to make.com and add in that module. So we're going to put in Airtable here and then create a record. Now, the base you want to select is the one that you just created. So mine's called lead base v1, as you saw. And you want to obviously connect your Airtable up to make.com. Again, really easy to do. Make.com makes this super easy. Then you want to select the table you've made. So ours is lead contacts, and you can see it's going to load up all of the fields that we just created. Now in name, we're going to want to drag and drop over the ones that we got from the tally fields. We're going to drag and drop that there. Email, website link, budget, and then the client notes in here. And as this is the qualified route, we're going to make sure we tick yes on qualified. Now, on the email sent here, we haven't run this module yet, but once you run the module, you'll be able to see a field that contains the body for the email that was sent to the client. So you want to drag and drop that over once you run that module, and then hit save. And we're going to repeat the same thing on the other side. So we're going to add another Airtable module here, hit create a record. Again, you would have already connected your Airtable at this point. Click on the right base, the correct table, and we're going to drag and drop a lot of the similar fields that we just had. The qualified bit here, we're going to leave this as empty, or you can select no if you want as well. And for the email sent, we're going to drag and drop this email part over here. Again, like the other side, we haven't run this yet, so there's no email body to drop over, but once you run that module, you're going to see that, and it's going to be able to drag and drop. Then hit save. Yeah, amazing. Now we can test this out. So let's go to our contact us form here, and we're going to fill out these details. And we're going to do this first for a qualified lead. So someone that's got a budget of greater than £10,000, and they're also in the healthcare industry. So I'll go ahead and fill this out. I'm just going to put my email in a second. But this would be an example of a lead that's qualified. So they've got a budget of greater than £10,000, and it's also for a dental clinic. And we just put in some notes here that business is going to want a voice AI agent. So everything lines up to be a qualified lead. And then once you filled that out and you put your email in, you're going to hit submit. Perfect. So I'll send that off. And then hopefully we're going to see an email pop up in my inbox, which is going to show us this AI in action. Okay, amazing. So it works correctly, and it's sent us an email from Rob, our sales development representative. It looks pretty good. It's included some relevant context here where it's needed to, the voice agent, and where it's from, and the budget. So it's also let them know we've built something similar before, and we've instructed it to set up a 30-minute discovery call, asking when they're free in the next week or two. So this is great. It's sent off a really good email for us. Now let's try the other side and see if that is also working. So this time I filled it out with a law firm, I believe this link is for. It's got a budget of actually £20,000. So it's got the right budget, but it's in the wrong industry. So this is going to be a good test to see if the AI can actually qualify this lead correctly. Now off, and let's wait for that to hit my inbox. It should be within the next 10 seconds. Okay, amazing. So it's going to send that email as well. It's included any relevant context, and it's been like warm, but it's let them know that they don't actually meet our qualification criteria. It's said, I want to be upfront, and let us know that they're not actually the right match for us to this moment in time. Let them know that if anything changes in the future, then we'll be happy to do some business. This is great. This whole system has been able to qualify the lead based on a few different criteria, send it down the right direction, create the email, and then send this email off to the customer. Now, if we also go over to our Airtable, we can see that both of these entries have gone in and filled in correctly. So we've got the website, we've got the budget there, filled out the client notes, the qualified tick, and it's also gone and filled in with it. It's great. It's sent over to Airtable everything that we just recorded about the client. That's pretty much the whole build today. So if you found this useful, please hit the like and subscribe button and fill in the form to get any of the prompts that I've used in this template. If you're a business and you think this might be something that's useful for you, go to the description and hit the link for InnovioSolutions.com. That will take you to my website and fill out the form to set up a discovery call. But that's all for today. I hope you guys liked the video, and I'll catch you in the next.